This is the sweet sound of success with Sue Wilhite, Profit Attraction Master. Kim is the award-winning author of Write and Grow Rich, How to Use a Book to Supersize Your Brand, Your Business, and Your Bank Account. Kim helps coaches, consultants, and service-based entrepreneurs overcome the daily struggle of finding their next client, stand out from the crowd in their industry, and increase visibility, credibility, and authority by publishing a book. For 13 years, she was one of usually a dozen financial advisors at every networking event, struggling to compete for clients in an overcrowded and skeptical market. After publishing her first book, The Financial Fitness Playbook, the ultimate guide to winning the money game, she was able to double her income in less than 12 months using the same strategies she now teaches in her new book and signature program. Welcome, Kimberley! So happy to have you on the show. I was just so blown away when we had our little networking encounter on Rook's World Dominating Fair, and it was like, oh my God, another person in the book business. This is so cool. I love it. We can meet minds, and I had to have you on the show. So glad you could make it.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a privilege and an honor to be here. And it's I feel the same way. When we met on Rook's networking event, it was awesome. So I'm glad we've been able to figure out how to collaborate and work and do some things together. It's amazing.
Yeah. So Kim, as you know, this show is structured along the lines of Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. And so I'm going to ask you, what was your ordinary, nobody on my show is ordinary, but what was your ordinary beginning?
Well, my ordinary beginning, kind of like you touched upon in the intro, was for 13 years, I was a financial advisor, and I was one of usually at least a handful at every networking meeting. So financial advisors, like realtors, like mortgage brokers, I felt like we were a dime a dozen. So how do you stand out from the crowd when you're in that kind of an environment where somebody's looking at me, they're looking at my peer over here, and they're looking at my peer over there? How do you distinguish yourself from all of the other people who, from the perception of the client, are doing exactly the same thing? Right. So that was kind of my ordinary beginnings.
And I'll interrupt you for just a second. And struggling against the negative perceptions of financial advisors. I mean,
not only the negative, right? Not only the negative perceptions of financial advisors, because people are skeptical, and they, there's that whole idea of they're sharks, or they're, they're crooks or whatever. There's whatever people's perceived notion of a financial advisor is, combined with people are embarrassed to tell you about what they're actually struggling with.
Right.
So they're driving their BMW, and they're living in their fancy house, and they're keeping up with the Joneses. And what we used to say in the industry was, it doesn't matter whether you're making $50,000 a year or whether you're making $150,000 a year. Most people are just broke at a different level.
Yes.
Because they increase their expenses as their income increases.
Right.
And so everybody's still scrambling and struggling to put away any kind of money. And people are embarrassed about that. They don't want to share it.
Right.
So it was a big, like my challenges as an advisor to get people to open up to me and trust me and use me as their advisor. The struggle was real, Sue.
Yeah. Absolutely. Money is one of the most embarrassing things to talk about. And one of the things that we as a society have such a taboo,
Yes.
and so many cultures have this taboo about, you don't talk about money, you don't discuss it with strangers, it stays in the family, you just,
Yeah, you can't ask anybody what their income is because that's rude. But it's like, how do you learn? How do you understand how industries work and how professions work without asking questions? And so I always found this was it kind of was a mind-blowing experience being in the industry. And it was a struggle and it was disheartening because I was like, I felt like I could do a lot of good, but I needed somebody like your doctor, or your lawyer. You have to tell your financial advisor the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Exactly.
Because I can't help you if you're hiding stuff from me.
Right.
When when you're able to let down those walls. But it was a big struggle, Sue. I'm not gonna lie.
So to a certain extent, you've rolled in the first three questions that I like to ask: is your ordinary beginning and your challenges and your call to action, right?
Right.
The challenges are huge.
The challenges were huge, but my call to action was different.
Oh, okay. Tell me about your call.
I'm going to tell you about my call to action. So my call to action I hear a lot of people's stories now, and they resonate with me because I'm like, oh, right. So we'll just talk about the elephant in the room, which is coronavirus, right?
Oh.
But for a lot of people, coronavirus will be their pivoting point in their life or their business, their relationship, what have it. Because
Right.
it's like the TSN turning point of the game is what I like to call it.
Yes.
So for me, my big pivotal moment, my call to action, as you put it, or my coronavirus situation was I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 43 years old, and
that's young. That's way too young.
And my mother had died from breast cancer as well. So it was a big, it was that
That's a
C
trigger.
word, huge trigger. And I got to that point where I don't know if anyone can relate who's listening, but do you ever kind of sit down and kind of take stock of what you've done in your life and think to yourself, like, I'm not where I wanted to be or where I thought I would be at this point in my life?
Right.
So I was 43 years old. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had been struggling on this, what I call the income roller coaster of my business. I was like, I felt like a failure. I felt like I had not achieved anything in my life. I was 43 years old. And I made my decision that day when I sat down and reflected on this, that if I was going to make it through this and I was going to beat cancer, that I was no longer going to sit on the sidelines of the game of life. I was going to get in the bloody game and I was going to play to win. I was done. So it was a big, huge, you know how they say everything that happens to you in your life happens for a reason, and that reason is there to serve you.
Yeah.
So I could have looked at cancer like, oh, poor little old me, I've got cancer, boo hoo hoo. But I took it as a opportunity and a blessing. It turned out to be the blessing. It was the universe hammering me on the head going, wake up, girlfriend, it's time to get in the game. And this was my
kick in the butt.
Right? It was the kick in the butt, and like a big crazy kick in the butt that I needed to move forward. Now your kick in the butt doesn't need to be that crazy.
No,
it could be coronavirus. It could be a job loss. It could be a relationship breakup. It could be just that you've made a decision that I deserve more and I want more. And everybody's turning point is going to be different. Mine just happened to be pretty epic.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it getting the boot prints in the back.
Yeah.
You know, when the universe kicks your butt, it's usually about in the small of your back. It's not necessarily your butt. It's like a shove.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, get out there, get it done.
Yeah. You were not meant to live a life of mediocrity. You were meant for more. And you deserve it. So go after it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And really, like, people, if you're listening to this, do not wait for the big C or the currency or
right. Oh my God, that's so funny. The big C or the currency. So true.
Right? Don't take control of your life. because
Now.
you are in control of your life. Nobody else is. No one else is in control of your life. And, Kim, you're so passionate about this. I'm so passionate about this. People allow other stuff to get in the way, right?
Totally.
And really, people take the reins.
Get in the driver's seat. Drive. It's you can't have it all. You really
grab
can't.
the steering wheel. Do what it takes to go. Oh, this vehicle is careening off the cliff here. Don't get help somehow, right?
Yep.
Do something. Make a commitment to change, and get somebody to help you.
Yep.
And actually, that brings me to my next point, Kim, is, as entrepreneurs, we cannot do it alone.
No.
We can't. We have to have support. And actually, it really doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or not. I don't care what kind of a hermit you are. Human beings need other human beings. I see this a lot in people who go into business for themselves. And I'm sure, Kim, you've seen this too, where people go into business and they go, oh, I don't need anybody. I can do it all myself. I don't need anything. And they're creating whatever interesting thing. They're either, providing some kind of service, or they're, creating some kind of product. And they forget that people have to purchase their product on the other end in order to make the money. They got to have people. And it really helps if you have people on this side of the equation helping you, so that you can connect with people on that side. So anyway, Kim, tell us about your allies, your helpers, your sidekicks, your mentors. Who'd you have in your corner?
Yeah. Well, the first and most important thing, I think, and again, when I'm speaking, I have usually a couple of rules. Rule number one is don't believe a word I say, because I'm only coming from my perspective. So I'm going to share some of the things that I did. And by all means, if you're doing it differently, that's great. There's more than one way to get to get down the path. But I think one of the most important things that I did was I aligned myself with mentors and coaches. So when I decided, for example, to write my book, The Financial Fitness Playbook, my very first book, I hired a book coach. So it's ironic that I am now a book coach, but I hired somebody to help me through the process, because not only do coaches and mentors guide you along a path, but they help you avoid the pitfalls and the obstacles that they went through. Right. And then they move you along that path faster, typically, than you could do it yourself. So, seriously, you could Google how to write a book, how to publish a book, how to do all of that stuff. You can find every speck of information you need on pretty much any topic matter on Google. However, the difference between using a coach or a mentor is they literally take you by the hand, like that guide, like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
They move you along the path faster and easier and more effectively and with less struggle than if you were to do it on your own. Because let's be fair. I figure myself a pretty smart and intellectual person. There's no reason that I would not have been able to figure out how to do it myself.
Right.
But instead, I was able to do it in less than 3 months. And I guarantee you, if I had tried to do it on my own, it probably would have taken a lot longer. So that's number one. And number two is, my second advice is just to surround yourself with a championship team. You don't, like you said, have to do it all on your own, right, Sue? I hired graphic designers. I hired editors. I had, besides my coach, I had other people on the team helping me through that journey, if you will. And it just made it a lot easier. I didn't have to do it all on my own. And in business, it's the same thing. You might be great at talking to people and getting them excited and motivated, and you might not be good at closing the sale. So maybe you have a sales team. You might be good at the administrative tasks in your business. So make sure you've got a power team, if you will, around you to help move you towards success faster and easier. You don't have to wear all the hats. And as an entrepreneur, I feel like a lot of people feel like they need to wear all the hats, and maybe you're wearing all the hats for a little bit, like at the very beginning. But I'm telling you, you are going to explode results. You are going to do so much better if you, at whatever point it is, you decide, okay, I need to now outsource this, and start outsourcing little bits of your business, a little bit a little bit of the time, and you'll go much farther, much faster. That I can guarantee.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%, Kim. You said it beautifully. If you're not good at something, like Kim, I'm just going to make a wild guess here and say you're not the world's greatest graphics designer.
No, I suck at graphic design. I would never do that on my own.
Right? So hire it out. I am absolutely I'll compete with the bottom row with you. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty, but I don't know how to create that.
Yeah.
Not even. And what you were saying about, taking time to, create your book, getting a coach to help you. Kimberly, it took me 7 years to do my book.
Right. And I come across that statement a lot. Like somebody's had their book inside them for years, or they've been trying to write it for 1 year, or 2 years, or 7 years. Success leaves clues. I took on a mentor, I took on a book coach, and I was able to get my very first book done in literally, it was less than 3 months.
Right.
So, it's a thing, right? You need to be able to use mentors and coaches. And if you want to get results and you want to get them faster, it's the way to go. 100%, hands down.
Right. That's just the way it works. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The allies, mentors, coaches, sidekicks, whatever you need to lift your wings, do it. Just don't even fuss. Don't even protest. Oh my God, it's going to cost me money. No, you don't understand. Your income will go up when you get help.
The cost of waiting is always higher, in my opinion, than the cost of investing in yourself. So It's not an expense, it's an investment in yourself and in your business.
Exactly.
So just do it. I invest in myself all the time. I almost do nothing without a coach or a mentor at this point.
Right.
It accelerates your results. It gets you where you want to go faster. And there's nothing more that I do than that.
Yeah. So actually, can I just interject one other thing about this, about, coaches and mentors?
Yeah.
Actually 2 things. They're related. Number 1, there is always going to be somebody ahead of you in the game.
Yeah.
Somebody has already done that territory. And actually, I guarantee you multiple somebodies have already been down that path, and they've already leaped the pit of snakes. They've already climbed that mountain. They've already done that. So use their advice. And here's the big thing. Most people who have made it farther along the path than you are happy to help. They are thrilled to be able to turn around and go, oh, here, let me give you, the ladder across the snake pit, or there's a tunnel through the mountain that we discovered. Something. They are so happy. So don't feel like you're bothering someone, or that, you're going to come across as stupid, or you're going to come across as helpless, or what have you. Right, Kim? It's just, they're happy to help.
Absolutely. You'll find that everywhere. I mean, it's human nature. So certainly there's going to be people who don't want to help. And there are so many people out there that will take a call, that will offer you advice, and will help you avoid those pitfalls, like you said. And you mentioned the snake pit. It's so true. It's just about helping you overcome, challenges, and go, hey, maybe something you didn't think about because it's the first time you're going through it.
Right. I can't tell you how many times my mind has been blown by coaches saying, oh, well, just do this. It's like, oh, it never occurred to me. How awesome. And I thought
especially in your own profession, in your own area of expertise. Sometimes I feel like we're just too close to it. Like even me as a coach, I need coaches because I'm sometimes just too close to my own stuff, that you need that person that can step outside of your business and give you that bird's eye view that you can't get when you're mashed in it and you're doing it day to day. There is so much to be said about somebody who can remove themselves emotionally from your business and be able to just look at it from that outside perspective. It's magical. And I highly suggest everybody has a coach, not only in their business, but, you know, it's why people hire personal trainers when they go to the gym.
Exactly.
If you want to lose weight, we all know the formula. It's move more,
eat differently,
eat less, whatever, right? Less calories in, more expenditure and energy exertion out. It's a pretty basic formula. Yes, there are some things that go along with that, possibly like hormones and allergies and whatever. But like the basic formula for 90% of the population is calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out. And so why can't people lose weight?
Right, because they don't do that, and they need a coach to challenge them, to lead them by the hand and go, okay, here's the first baby step, here's the second baby step, okay, now you're seeing progress, let's go.
The coach keeps you not only avoiding the hurdles, but they keep you accountable. Accountability is one of the best things that a coach brings to the table. I know even for me, it's not that I don't know what to do, but I know when I'm hopping on a call with my coach tomorrow and I haven't done my homework yet, it's like, okay, I got to get on that. And then I do it. So it pushes me forward to my deadlines faster. It's sometimes just about expenditure of doing things because I know I have to hop on that call, and I certainly don't want to hop on that call and tell my coach I did nothing. That's for sure.
Yes. And I know
that person keeps you accountable.
I know coaches who will hang up on you if you say that. They won't even.
I've never said it, so I get my stuff done. Right?
There's nothing to talk about. Bang.
Reschedule.
Yeah. So now that we've just boosted coaches everywhere, you're welcome.
Yes.
Yes. All coaches everywhere. We just did your commercial for you, including ourselves. So this is awesome. So Kimberley, tell me about. So you've got your allies. You've met the challenge of the big C's, because obviously you're here. You're still here.
Yes.
You don't look.
I have hair again.
You have hair again. I was going to say you don't look at the bit ravaged by cancer. So.
Yes, I came out the other side.
You came out the other side. What happened when you tried to be different? Because one of the things Joseph Campbell talks about is the hero who goes home and nobody else has changed. You've changed. The hero has changed. The heroine, although hero is a gender neutral term. But people around you have kind of stayed the same, and they haven't gone through what you went through. How do you deal with that?
That is a great question, Sue, because just like having mentors and teammates and coaches, the people that you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis are so important. They're important to your mental health. They're important to your attitude. You cannot go soar with the eagles and then come back to the duck pond and expect you're going to keep being an eagle, right? To use an analogy. So some of the people that I've hung around with, and by the way, some of these people could be your family. They could be really close friends. And it's not that I just like, oh, I'm going to come back and I'm never going to hang out with my friends or my family or anybody again because now I'm this like amazing enlightened person. But it's about making sure that you protect your mental health, I think, is a really important thing. Maybe if you want to call it mental health, but protect your attitude, protect the people that you surround yourself with. I always try to surround myself with people that are going places, people that are doing better than me. You naturally get better if you hang out with people that are better than you.
Yes.
And you are the sum average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So take a look at that. And it's not to say you need to drop all your friends or your family, but maybe the amount of time that you spend with them could be adjusted so that you're also spending more time with other people that are like-minded and that are, the movers and the shakers, the mentors and the coaches, the entrepreneurs and the money makers. I don't know, whatever you want to call them.
The
Figure
ones
out
who inspire
where
you.
you're trying to go and who's already going there, and align yourself with them. And you will. It's almost impossible to fail if you do that.
Right. You want to surround yourself with people who are inspirations, people
Absolutely.
who give you the example to do better, give you the example to be better,
Mm-hmm.
to help you keep that identity of awesomeness.
Yeah.
That it's like, no, really, I have achieved this and I have done this,
Yeah.
and therefore I can do this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it can be as simple as turning off the news and instead turning on some Tony Robbins or some, Bob Proctor or some whoever you might want to follow who's inspiration. Some Mel Robbins, some,
Right. Right.
whoever that person that inspires you, turn off the news and listen to more of them.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It is so important to counter any negative messages that you might get from people who you can't avoid, like your family,
Right.
and sort of go, okay, well, that's that. But now I'm going to pay attention to these things over here because these are the things that really feed my soul.
Yeah.
And these are the things that help me believe that I am better, that I can do better, and
Right.
that I have a right to be better. That's
Absolutely.
the biggest thing. I've heard so many people say that their family or their friends say, well, just who do you think you are to be doing this? You think you're
Yeah.
something special? Yes, as a matter of fact, I
I am
do.
special.
And I think you're special too. And why aren't you doing more of this? Right? It's bringing yourself back up. And as entrepreneurs, I hear it all the time. I hear people talk about their sense of self-worth and that they're not worthy about it, and they get these messages from their friends and family. So it's even more important, if that's what's going on, to get yourself inspired, as you said, with Tony Robbins, with, I don't know, with Oprah, with anybody who is on that path and can lead you forward and out of the quicksand.
Yeah, pick a guru and just fill your brain with awesomeness instead of filling your brain with negativity.
Exactly.
My mentor used to call it CNN, constant negative news. You throw the
Yeah,
news on, and that's all that you're feeding your brain with. And quite frankly, where focus goes, energy flows. So
exactly.
don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive. Focus on where you want to be, not where you are right now. And watch how magic happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Kim, you've got some magic for our viewers. Tell me about that. What wonderful magic prize do we have at the end of the journey here?
Well, if you have ever been inspired to write a book and you think that that might be an amazing tool to grow your business, then I have a 10-step guide to planning and writing your very own business building, income generating, income exploding book. And I'm happy to provide that to anyone. It's actually it's less of a guide and actually more of a workbook. It's a 20-page downloadable fillable, inable workbook that I am happy to give anybody if they want to start on their journey to becoming a published author and using that as a tool to explode their business results. And anybody, so in all transparency, I'm a business person, I'm a coach, but I'm not perfect. I don't even have a website yet. I'm running my entire business off of social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So if somebody wants to get this guide, I don't have a fancy landing page where I'm going to ask you for your name and your email address and all that kind of stuff. But if you want my guide, I am happy to send you a PDF copy of it. You just need to email me and let me know that it's something that you'd like. And you can do that at kim@kimberleyday.com. Now my Kimberley has an E in it, so a lot of people miss that. It's KIMBERLEYDAY.com. Sue, you're going to put it in the show notes anyway. So
it's going to be in the links below, along with all of her wonderful social media links, so that you can follow Kim. You can find out more about Kim, find out if Kim is somebody that you want to be inspired by and be mentored by. And she will send you that amazing workbook of hers that gets you started on the process. I mean, if you, what is it? 90% of the people believe they have a book inside them and just need to get it out.
Yeah,
right?
They're big stats. So, and you can do it.
I
did it in 3 months. Sue took a little longer. She took 7 years, but she still got it out of her. So if
that
you
was the
think
first
you
one.
have a
The second two didn't take nearly as long.
right, and so if you think you have one in you, I guarantee you I can get it out of you. So happy to send anyone or share with anyone that workbook.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kim, for being on the show. We've had such a grand, exciting time here. I just love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, my viewers, for watching The Sweet Sound of Success.
Yes.
What are your dreams for your business? You know what drives me crazy? Really smart business owners denying their talents because they've been taught it has to be hard, because they've been taught that they don't deserve their gifts, that they're not worth anything. They've been taught that their gender means they can't express their genius. I'm Sue Wilhite, and I want you to have access to your genius. I want you to go out and rock the world with your genius. So I created the Call to Action coaching program. It's all about getting to the heart of you and what you've got to share with the world to make a profitable business that thrives and allows you to make a difference in the world. Click the link to sign up for the Call to Action coaching program today. Don't let your genius go unnoticed.